Notre Dame goes rolling along in the Bronx as they dominate undefeated Army as the Irish are a mere 60 minutes away from the college football playoff.
By Samarza, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go, 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 go!
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Logan, everybody. I am Landon Traylor, joined by Logan Traylor, John Richards, and Dylan Kearns. We are coming to you Monday, November 25th. Beautiful day. It's getting a little bit colder, but however, the Irish defeat the Army Black Knights 49-14 in the 2024 Shamrock Series at Yankee Stadium.
It's Leonard deep drop. Leonard rifles. It's caught. Touchdown. Jordan Faison finds the soft spot in the defense. A 28-yard strike for the Irish. You mentioned it, 10-3 now coming in. Already two on the first two possessions. Now block. Notre Dame came in. Big special teams play. Scooped up and out of bounds. Ron Hurd the second found the... Leonard, swing it. Love to the outside. Love to the end zone. Spectacular Notre Dame touchdown. Handoff Love. With the wheels. Accelerates. Jeremiah Love to the house. Touchdown. Massive credit to Al Golden and this defense as this Notre Dame offense comes back out on the field. It'll be Williams with a carry. Navigates his way through. Aeneas Williams. Pedal to the metal. Touchdown. What a run for the true freshman.
JR, this ball game was never in doubt. From the jump, Notre Dame rolled them.
Absolutely. We did what we needed to do. These service academies, again, we shouldn't be scheduling. We should get no credit for beating them. In fact, we should probably be penalized for playing them completely. We looked really good, you guys. I could say that maybe there's two teams that are playing better than Notre Dame right now. That would be Oregon and Ohio State. Otherwise, I really like where Notre Dame sits. Our defense, we have a national championship defense. We do have some explosiveness in the rushing game that can carry us a long way. I'm really excited about where we can go. We got one hurdle left to go. It's a big one. I know USC is down this year, but do not, I repeat, do not take Trojan Man lightly.
Never. You can never take Trojan Man lightly. The two teams that are playing better than Notre Dame right now are from the Big Ten, Oregon and Ohio State. We're not saying that Notre Dame is the best team, one of the best team in the country. We're saying right now, at this moment, November 25th, we are playing elite football, in my opinion. I think in all of our opinion, we are playing elite football, Dylan.
Yeah, loved it. And I'd like to get a meter. I don't know if we can go here this early into the show. I'll save it for a little bit. But I'd like to get a meter on where everyone feels with a certain individual. But I tell you what, I'm loving where this team is at right now. I'm sure you saw my lengthy Facebook post that basically said, if you have an opinion on Notre Dame, read this before you make your opinion again, because a lot of people are making jokes about the schedule. I don't know why. You beat 4 ranked teams. You beat 7 bowl-eligible teams. You have beat the SEC leader coming into Saturday night on the road, beat the hell out of them. All right, so this is a team that's playing good football. They learned from their mistake. Best point differential in college football. Plus 301. That's an insane number. They're outscoring their opponents 392 to 99 since NIU, just pounding the hell out of these teams. And, I loved it. One thing that I loved from Marcus Freeman pregame, they asked him, they're like, all right, coach, what do you got? Violence. I want to be violent. He basically said, this is going to be a team that runs the ball. It's who Army is. He wants to be violent. Mm-hmm. He came out the gates and just, he stuck it to him. He said, go back to West Point. Like, this is, get out of here. We're the better football team. Go back. So he did a great job. I do have some concerns a little bit with the with a certain aspect of the game. I'll get into it in a little bit, but I am very impressed where this team is right now.
Right. And 4 wins over ranked undefeated teams. Texas A&M, we gave them their first loss. Louisville, we gave them their first loss. Navy, we gave them their first loss. Army, we gave them their first loss. All 4 were ranked. And just putting that out there. Dylan, you alluded to it. 7. Could be 7 at the end of the day on Saturday. Wins over bowl eligible teams. So, Logan, moving along here, Army, a dominating performance. We talked about this last week with NIU. From a coaching standpoint for you, how does a loss like NIU motivate your team to be better down the stretch in November? I know it's a little bit different in basketball because you can drop a couple games and still be fine, but in football, how does that NIU loss motivate the Notre Dame team? Because I personally don't think the Irish will be playing that well if we don't lose to NIU.
Yeah, I think the trick is not getting caught in the trap of having a result-driven program and believing in a process-driven program. And, I'm going to piggyback off of what Dylan said. I thought that was Marcus's best performance when he had opportunities to speak, throughout the broadcast. And you see it at halftime. He's frustrated. He has no filter, and frustrated at the lack of execution down the stretch, getting, turning the ball over, getting stood up, missing the field goal. Like, those are things that are really good to see, especially with someone that, kind of felt like he just had a script for everything he was going to say early on. So, I'm a big believer that, we talk about the development, consistent growth. We needed NIU this year, given the embarrassment, given, how detrimental it was. It didn't dictate how the rest of the year went. And that's a testament to not only this coaching staff, but everybody involved in that program. We're playing the best football Notre Dame has played arguably in a very long time, even in their dominant years where they've had playoff berths, where they've made national championships. They haven't beat teams the way they're beating teams right now. And, that's exciting. Obviously, like JR mentioned, we got one more hurdle, to go through, but you continue improving week to week, and it's going to be scary come playoff time when it matters most. As a coach, you want to be playing your best basketball in March for me, but obviously when November hits and December hits, you want to be playing your best football as a football coach, and I think we're doing that right now.
Absolutely. I do as well. Marcus finally had a good press conference, I will say. I've been harping on Marcus Freeman a little bit with his press conference. Just kind of a little awkward situations at times, but he did a fantastic job this week. Riley Leonard went 10 for 13 with 148 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 30 rush yards. Jeremiah Love, 7 carries, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't care what it takes. Open the NIL checkbook for him at the University of Notre Dame to keep him with the Fighting Irish. I have a fear, a hunch that an SEC school is going to come and pick him up. The same one who loves him, some ladies of the evening. Jadarian Price with 10 carries, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Aeneas Williams with 3 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Jordan Faison, it was fantastic to see Jordan Faison get involved in this ball game. He had 2 receptions for 46 yards and a touchdown. And the Irish held Daly to 4 for 8 passing, 26 yards, no surprises there. 39 carries for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a season low for him, minus the game that he went out with an injury. The Irish gave up 207 rushing yards, a season low by a large margin for the Army Black Knights. They scored the most points on Army this season, and the defense was fine, quite frankly, with giving up 207 yards. If you're going to beat us rushing. They couldn't. They did a little bit. It was a 14-7 game, but the Irish really defensively, JR, were locked in on this triple option attack from the Black Knights.
Yeah, Freeman's done a really good job preparing for all the service academies. I imagine he does a lot of that in his off season and in his off weeks. That triple option, that rushing attack, no matter who's running it, we have completely solved that and shut that down. I really got to give credit to the Army quarterback. I can't imagine what he felt like the next morning, and quite honestly, that's probably nothing compared to what he faces daily at the academy. A lot of credit goes out to him and his players. They kept playing hard all game long, and so did we. I mean, our defense, he said it, violent, fast, aggressive, chaotic. Um, if I can go back to what you guys were talking about with Freeman and a little bit of what Logan was talking about, it's nice that I think we've kind of gotten over the hurdle to the point where maybe we don't have to just worry about winning the game. The standard is more important than the score. And he noted that at halftime. It doesn't matter what the score is. If we're not meeting our standard, the way that we want to play, the style that we want to play, the pace that we want to dictate, the physicality that we want to show, it doesn't really matter what the score is. We have to hold that standard. And I think the coach is really getting comfortable in his own skin because of that now. He feels comfortable enough that he doesn't have to, put on a show. He can just sort of be himself and speak the way that he feels and not put up sort of a facade. So I think we've taken a little bit of a step forward as a program. Everybody's seen the year 3 numbers in terms of wins and losses. He's the winningest coach through 3 years at Notre Dame history. He's got more wins over ranked teams, I think, than any coach in Notre Dame history now in their first 3 years. So, a lot of credit's got to go to Freeman and the staff. And I've been hard on him. I kind of going along with standard over score. I'm going to go with standard over wins and losses. We're Notre Dame and we expect to not just make the playoff, but advance and win. I'm in it for national championships, and I think we got the type of coach and team that can get us there. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but the window is certainly open with Saban gone.
It is. Absolutely 100% it is. Now, with all the positives that we mentioned, I do have some concerns about the Fighting Irish this year. Field goals. Mitch Jeter went 0 for 2. I know he's dealing with some injury, but the special teams this year has been awful. We had 2 block kicks against NIU. We had a block kick somewhere along the line as well. However, we did get a block punt, but that just Dylan, the special teams is an issue this year, quite frankly.
We suck. All right, we suck. Simply put, we suck. The punt returner can't catch. He fumbles. Like, there's issues there. I have so many concerns. I don't know who's going to kick. It'd be nice to have Schrader, Mr. Game Winner, for KC yesterday. Hats off to the Notre Dame alum. That said, it's such a big problem. Like, you're gonna have to make kicks in big games.
Yeah.
Look than Ohio State just a few years ago. The jackass that couldn't kick against Georgia. Like, there is serious problems. Mitch Jeter, when he first came here, we're like, wow, this is a great transfer from South Carolina. He hit a huge kick against A&M, and we were feeling good. This injury has him. He can't do anything out there. I would make a kicking change. I know the other ones probably suck too because they don't have much experience, but I'd much rather have someone that's healthy out there giving me a shot than someone who I know is not going to be able to kick it more than 40 yards and keep it straight for that matter. So there's a problem with that.
Right, absolutely. And another thing that really grinds my gears on Saturday is the goal line play calling. One of them was the 3 straight times Riley Leonard up the middle with a packed defensive line, and then one resulted in a 4th down situation where we failed. We tried with Price, and unfortunately it didn't go anywhere. I don't mind that play. I mind the 3 plays leading up on 1st and goal, up the middle, 2nd and goal, up the middle, 3rd and goal, up the middle. JR, it's a problem. It needs to be solved quickly.
Yeah, Again, I think that goes towards mentality, though. We're stronger, we're more physical, we're going to shove it down your throat. They learned their lesson, they bounced Love out the next time that it happened. If we can go back to the kicking game, I don't want to say our special teams as a whole sucks, because there are aspects of our
Right.
special teams that are outstanding. Our block units are phenomenal.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yes, the field goal kicking aspect is problematic, but I wouldn't want to attempt any kick against our special teams unit. Getting it off, a field goal, a punt, that poses to be a problem against any team that faces us. Once you get the kickoff, okay, then it's fair game and we're not quite sure what's going to happen. But I don't want to just say our special teams suck because of our kicker. It's a huge problem, but I'd say we're a little bit more inconsistent than we do suck.
Yeah. We have a lot of blocks this year. I know we blocked a couple against Georgia Tech. I believe we blocked one, quite frankly, against NIU of our own. And then we blocked a few punts against Florida State, obviously, last week. And speaking of punts, we did not punt a single time in the game on Saturday night, which was good to see. Give him a little rest. He's been working a little bit lately. I'm just kidding. Another aspect of the ball game where I had concern, and then we'll get to the positives once again, and on a good note here. Penalties. We had some penalties that have been adding up lately. We had a couple against Florida State. We had a couple against Virginia. Now against Army. We had 5 for 44 yards. Hands to the face seems to be a really big issue. I believe we have had about 5 penalties in general for hands to the face in our last 3 ball games. Logan, we got to start cleaning things up and keeping the laundry off the field.
Yeah, a lot of it is just technique, especially with our linemen. I don't think it's a ongoing issue. Obviously, I don't think it's a defensive issue either. I think it's more of an offensive issue. You want to make sure you stay disciplined. And what sucks is a lot of those penalties, are under evaluation just because of a lot of those are big plays that are getting taken back.
Right.
So the magnitude is increased when it comes to that. But, I think those are things you can coach. Going back to what you guys talked about with the kicking game, I don't know what the kicker that may not be 100% is something you can coach. But you can coach technique, you can coach through the penalties, which, is a positive thing. We're sitting here 1 week away. We're talking about our kicker, and we're talking about, handful of penalties.
Right, exactly. If that's what we're talking about here entering week, what'd you say?
It's a good time, boys.
Yes, if we're sitting here week 15 talking about our kicking and our penalties instead of our offense, I would take that as an absolute win. Before we get out of here, offense got to go ahead, JR.
Yeah, one thing I do want to shout out, our O-line has been fabulous. We've had a lot of in and out early in the year with injuries. The coach has been fantastic. The scheme has been great. Those younger guys have come along really well. I think the offensive line really needs to be highlighted here and how they performed the last few weeks. We've got one more to go, but I've been really impressed with them.
I was told on X that this would be a down year for the offensive line, and the offensive line at Notre Dame is steadily declining. What do you got to say now? All right, go ahead, Dylan.
One more thing for me. Very interesting point here for the in the first half, we had 8 different players catch a pass. I love that. Don't know who's getting it. Great House, Faison, Mitchell, Love, Evans. Like when we get everyone involved, you can't defend against that. So to your credit about no problems with the offense or defense. I mean, that maybe the red zone could be something to said, but I think I'm glad we're talking about special teams as well.
Right, absolutely. The offense got its mojo back. We struggled against Virginia. I think we needed a game like this to get back on track offensively, and we did just that. Week 13 in college football was fantastic. Ohio State rolls and exposes the Indiana Hoosiers. Florida upsets and eliminates Ole Miss. Jackson Dart threw 3 straight interceptions to end that ball game. One was called back for a penalty. He gets another chance, and he throws another game-losing interception. SMU, the Mustangs, have clinched the ACC championship. They are heading to Charlotte here in a couple of weeks. Penn State survives Minnesota 26-25. Guys, I got to say this. I would love to play Penn State in the college football playoff. I cannot stand this team. I think they're frauds. They haven't played anybody. And quite frankly, I think we would beat the living hell out of Penn State. Any disagreement there?
I don't know if we'd beat the hell out of them, but
I don't think they'd be able to move the ball on us. I really don't. That offense runs through one guy and one guy only. And it wins the games, yes.
It's a 23-14 kind of game.
Disagree there. Arizona State beats BYU in a wild ball game. Wild ending. They rush the field with 1 second left. They have to rush the field again. This guy's building something there in Tempe. Love me some Kenny Dillingham. Yeah. Over. Love me some Kenny Dillingham. Kansas blows out Colorado, eliminating them from the college football playoff race, barring some miracle happening in the Big 12 race this last week of football. Nebraska is bowl eligible for the first time since 2016, and they rushed the field for it. Okay. Oklahoma State loses its 8th straight ball game. Gundy is in trouble there in Stillwater. Louisville rolls Uncle Patton Pitt 37-9. Boise State survives yet again. They've had some close calls in the last 3 weeks. Oklahoma dominates Alabama, and I mean dominates Alabama. Milroe could not get anything going. The Tide could not get anything on offense, and Mobilehoma defeats and eliminates the Alabama Crimson Tide. Auburn knocks off Texas A&M in four overtimes. LSU beats Vanderbilt 24-17 with Fire Kelly chants reigning at Death Valley. And finally, USC defeats UCLA in the nightcap 19-13 to clinch a full victory. Hey, we are back tomorrow to preview a historical rivalry, the greatest intersectional rivalry in college football, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the USC Trojans. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Irish.